Welcome to another edition of Self-Defense Across America.
All right, Kirk, thank you. We begin with breaking news. An attempted home invasion in Arcadia involving a scuffle between a suspect and a homeowner. Police say a male suspect broke into a residence on Walnut Avenue just after midnight. The homeowners arrived while the thief was inside and confronted him outside. Fight broke out. Shots were fired. When police got on scene, they located the suspect being held down at gunpoint by the homeowner. Neither the suspect nor the homeowners were hit by the gunfire. The suspect was transported to a hospital with minor injuries.
While a Hamilton County deputy shot a man accused of breaking into his home on Sunday. The suspect was in court this morning. WCPO 9 News reporter Kritzia Williams has the charges he now faces and what neighbors experienced.
Darrell Williams appeared in this courtroom this morning to face charges of aggravated burglary and menacing.
That's the bond judge.
According to the court documents, Williams broke into a deputy's home in Reading. The deputy was inside and called 911.
The suspect took off, male black, approximately 6 feet 2, be bleeding from the mouth.
Documents say Williams climbed through a closed kitchen window and then went upstairs. A woman was in the upstairs bedroom.
She ordered her husband, who was in the basement. There was a brief physical altercation.
I had to fight him hand-to-hand combat.
The deputy lives on this block, and a neighbor I spoke with lives on the same street. She says she was surprised to hear a gunshot at 5 in the morning, and then just 2 hours later, police tell her to stay in her home until they find a suspect.
Shot fired.
After the physical altercation between them, the deputy then shot Williams in the leg, and that's when Williams ran away. The next time Williams will be in court is June 20th. For now at the Hamilton County Justice Center, I'm Kritzia Williams, WCPO 9 News.
A Carrollton, Kentucky man died in a road rage shooting over the weekend.
WDRB's Crystal Goodner explains why the person who police say pulled the trigger may not be charged.
We're here at exit 43 right off of I-71 here in northern Kentucky, where a road rage incident escalated and quickly turned deadly. Kentucky State Police were called to this stretch of road in Carroll County, Kentucky, a little after 7 p.m. on Saturday. Investigators say that the road rage dispute began when two vehicles merged onto I-71 South at exit 44.
The second vehicle passed the first vehicle, at which time we believe the second vehicle brandished a firearm.
Police say that's when the driver of the first vehicle called 911, saying that the driver of the other vehicle waved a gun. Both vehicles then got off at exit 43. KSP says that the driver of the first vehicle was on the phone with dispatchers the entire time, and that's when the situation escalated. When police arrived, they found 63-year-old Daniel Schaus dead. KSP confirms that he was driving one of the vehicles involved in the road rage incident. Police say the person who shot him is a man, but they would not reveal his identity.
He was on scene when law enforcement got there. Law enforcement has been able to interview him and talk to him. He's been cooperative.
Police say that both men were in their vehicles at the time of the shooting and believe both men had guns. The suspected shooter has not been charged at this time, and KSP says that it's treating the shooting as a case of self-defense.
If you do find yourself involved in a road rage incident, highway safety, make space. If you need to, slow down, let another vehicle go on down the road, get off an exit, but most importantly, make space.
KSP says that this investigation will now be handed over to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Reporting in Carroll County with photojournalist Chad Cantliner, Crystal Goodner, WDRB News.
12 rounds, 804 Cleveland Avenue.
53, there's a lot of shots. Sounded like from a moving vehicle. Put me out on Maple. I got a lot of people on Maple.
I copy. I've got a shooting now at South Avondale Elementary School, 636 Prospect Place.
Is this an additional shooting?
That's affirmative.
Breaking now at 10, multiple reports of a shooting in Avondale right now. Police tell us one teenager was shot in a drive-by shooting. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brittany Harry in for Tricia Mackey. Our Chancellor Wynn joins us live at the scene now. So Chance, what else do we know about what happened?
Well, Brittany, I want to talk about that teenager first because Cincinnati police are telling us just within the last 10 minutes that it's a 15-year-old who was shot in the ankle, and they're telling us that this was a drive-by shooting. Now, one thing I really want you to pay attention to here, this is where that scene was, the actual police tape, and the police left this area within the last 2 minutes. But we're on Prospect Place at South Avondale Elementary School, and you see this parking lot right here. This is the parking lot where a 15-year-old was at with two other friends. Now, Cincinnati police tell us that you can actually see this car as it's driving down the street. That's the same direction direction as what the vehicle with the shooter was driving. They were driving down Prospect Place and began firing rounds out of their vehicle. Now, we're told that initially, as you heard, it was reports of 2 shootings. Now, at first, it was 12 shots, and then they heard another 13 shots. Now, what Cincinnati police is telling us is that the drive-by shooter shot first at the 15-year-old and the 2 people he was with. The 2 people that was with the 15-year-old returned fire at the vehicle as that vehicle continued driving down Prospect Place all the way to Reading Road, which is those red lights you might be able to see through the trees right there in that area. Now, I can tell you about an hour into this investigation, because this shots fired happened just before 8 p.m., so about 2 hours ago. After about an hour and 10 minutes of police being on scene, they extended the crime scene and found additional shell casings on Reading Road. And one other thing I do want to point out to you is, again, so this is the parking lot where that 15-year-old was shot. After he was shot, the victim and others ran through this parking lot across the street in front of all those apartments and those townhomes right there, across Prospect Place to Maple Avenue, which is 1 block over. So there was 2 crime scenes here throughout tonight's evening, one on Prospect Place and one street over on Maple Avenue, because the shooting happened here on Prospect Place, but the victim was the one who ran over to Maple Avenue with his friends, and that's where police say a private resident, a citizen, took the victim to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Again, he's sustained non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to be okay, and that's because Cincinnati police tell us the child, the 15-year-old, was actually shot in the ankle.
Shootings within 2 hours, separated by just a couple of streets. So right now, police say they're still looking for at least 3 shooters after a violent afternoon in Uniontown. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. At 11, I'm Ken Rice. Police say a man was killed in the first shooting, and then 2 more men were injured just an hour and a half later when their car was shot up. KDKA's Jennifer Barrasso has the latest tonight.
Uniontown police are leading the investigation into the deadly shooting. Meantime, state police are in charge of the second shooting. Both departments trying to figure out if they're connected, and if so, how.
There's another person that got shot unnecessarily and killed. Why? I don't know. God knows, and I don't care. It's senseless and it's dumb.
More violence in Uniontown. People here living in fear. Bullets went flying on this sidewalk in front of this home on Dunlap Street just after 2.
This wasn't a random act of violence. This was 2 people that knew each other.
Fayette County District Attorney Mike Abel says 33-year-old Josh Stevens got into a fight with a man he knew.
What we understand is that the victim, he attacked the defendant with a knife, and apparently the defendant shot him, and he fled the scene afterwards. So he is still at large.
Over an hour later, the situation turned chaotic. More gunshots, another street over. 2 young men targeted at Liberty and Varndale Street. Their black Ford Fusion riddled with bullets, windows shattered. Vanessa Osler heard those shots.
It was one after the other. I was shaking and I was scared. I was going to go in the house and lay on the floor like I usually do.
She saw the men ask for help.
I seen the car. The car stopped the police car. The black car that got shot up, they stopped the police car. They was beeping on the horn. They pulled them out of the car and was laying them on the ground.
The DA says at least a dozen bullets were fired. One person shot in the hip, the other hurt by shrapnel to the face. Both were taken to the hospital. Osler says she's stunned after seeing all this unfold.
Scared. Totally scared. Scared for other kids around here, innocent people. I didn't know what it was about or whatever. I didn't care what it was about. People were getting shot. That's the point. It's lives in turmoil and lives lost.
Uniontown police tell me that the man who was killed was staying at the home where he was shot and got into some kind of argument with some neighbors who live nearby. The district attorney tells me they are going through neighborhoods, talking to witnesses and looking for any security camera video. At this point, there are no arrests. In Uniontown, Fayette County, Jennifer Barrasso, KDK TV News.